Hey, how's everybody doing today? Wow, this seems kind of strange. Back-to-back Islander games in 2 nights. Wow. So many breaks that we've had. It's so nice to finally get some back-to-back action after the bad taste that was left in our mouth last night from Tampa Bay. We're hoping for a much better game today. Welcome to the Canadian Islander fan. I'm Terry. I'm hoping and big time that we can pull this one out. We really need this one big time. It would be so great for the psyche just to, even go home 1 point above 500. It would make a world of difference. I'm not going to lie. It's not the end of the world if we lose this game. So, but it's important. We need to start winning. We need to start putting things together. It'll be interesting to see what Barry puts together for line combinations and everything that I'm expecting Sorokin back in the net. So hopefully we can pull this off. We normally we've always done good on back-to-backs, but we lost our one and only back-to-back this year. So it's all about the present. So we really need some people to step up tonight. It's time for the people who haven't been scoring to start scoring some goals. The Parises, the Palmieris, the dare I say the Josh Baileys, the you all know who they are. They need to step up. They need to get going. I'm expecting Noah Dobson back in the game tonight too as well. So this is going to be a tough one, and these guys can score. Man, they can score. So if we shut them down, we don't want to let them get too far ahead of us with the way we've been scoring lately. So actually, Bob's been playing really good this year. So yeah, that's not going to help us either. So anyway, I'm looking forward to a better performance than yesterday. I thought some guys out there were putting out the effort, but not the whole team. We need the whole team firing on cylinders, and hopefully some panic is starting to set into the team just a little bit that, this is unacceptable. We gotta start making things happen. So anyway, it's game time. I'm ready to get at her. Talk to you in the first and second. The Florida Panthers are beating the Islanders 4-0 after one period of play. What am I supposed to say about this period? I can't point out all the mistakes because that would take me longer than the amount of time it took to play the period. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Looks like a team that wants to go home to me. Yeah, I think that human factors have taken over this one, and you can say you're not looking ahead to going home or something like that, and then you're concentrating on the game and that, but we're all humans and we all look beyond it. And just too many bad things to talk about. One thing that I will talk about, I like the fact that Barry shook up the lines. I actually liked some of the line combinations out there, and unfortunately, I had a very busy day today, so I didn't have a lot of time to do research before the game, and I'm actually watching the game a little bit behind right now. I'm about a half hour behind, so I can't check the stats or anything, or else I'll know what's going on in the game. Not that it really matters with a 4-0 score, but I see Pollock's not playing, and I'm hoping that one is because of the flu that's been going around. However, I think it could be a punishment one. I know he has missed a few of assignments on some goals that have been scored against us, and that. Yeah, for me, the biggest disappointment of this game for me is the fourth line. They gave up a couple of goals at least. I kind of lost track who was on ice for the other two goals, but yeah, they were on the ice for two of them, and the lack of effort that Casey put in on that fourth goal was so un-Casey like, so un-Islander like. He didn't even back check. I mean, if he's still sick from the flu, then he shouldn't be playing. But if he's good enough to play, then he should back check. And man, it's just too many things to talk about. Sorokin, not as great as game, but my God, anything that can go in will go in on us right now. It's just one of those things I was talking about last night in the game when things aren't rolling your way, and they certainly aren't rolling the Islanders' way right now. When a puck can go through a 3x3 inch hole to score for Florida, and we can't buy a goal no matter what we do. I mean, at one point in the period, the block shots were 8-1 for Florida. We couldn't even get anything through to get it on net. And that it's going to be a tough one to watch all the way through. I don't think Barry's going to be as mad about this game as people might think he's going to be. It's been a long trip. It's time to get home, time to rest, time to reset is what we need to do. And you don't even look at the standings. You just play one game at a time, and you just bear down and home cooking and being with the wife or the girlfriend or whatever hopefully will help out a lot. I thought I really liked the combination of Barzal, Palmieri, and Parise. That the speed, it's the first time Matt's ever played with anybody with speed. And just because we haven't scored that first line, you got to give him more in the period. You got to give him more in the game. You got to give him a chance. And I'd come to the conclusion after the last game that the common denominator why the first line was getting hemmed in was the common denominator was Barzal and Lee. And then I kind of broke it down thinking that maybe it was more like Lee because he's still not 100% since coming back from his injury. That takes a while to get back to. And I'm noticing tonight the line that he's on is having problems. Well, Barzy just seems to be flying out there with Palmieri and Parise. I like that combination. I like a lot of the combinations that are out there. I was a little disappointed on Wallstrom. There was one play, it was an easy dump in, and he lost it at the line. They broke up, went down, hemmed us in for 35 seconds. Those are the things that Barry sees. And those are the things that he's talking about with Wallstrom, and that, as great as his shot is in that, you got to be a little bit smarter than that and get the puck in. Pellick and Mayfield have been on the ice for a few goals there tonight too, as well. But, and I'm praying that the reason Josh Bailey isn't playing tonight is because he's a healthy scratch. I hope it's not flu and whatever. If, we're losing 4-0, but if there's one thing I'm happy about, it's not to see him on the ice. Unless Pollock's sick, Barry just ended his 263 game consecutive game streak. If that was Barry putting him down as a healthy scratch, and that just got him one game ahead of Dennis Potvin for the Islander franchise record. But be interesting. But you're looking forward to after the game when I can catch up and see exactly what find out exactly what went down before the game today. So other than that, it's 4-0. I'm not expecting a win. Hell, right now, I'm not even expecting a goal. But in 61 years of all my sporting teams, I have never, ever turned a game off. I've never left a stadium a second early before the game was off. It's one of my claims. One of my claims of fandom here is that I just don't turn it off. Even the 8-0 loss last year in the playoffs, I didn't turn off and sat and watched through all that misery. But anyway, it's time to go watch second period. Let's hope we score a couple of goals and hold them to nothing. Let's try not to hang Ilya out to dry here. As a matter of fact, I think if I was Barry, I'd bring in Varlamov for the second period and play him the second and third, even though he played last night. He needs to work. He hasn't played much. So if I was Barry, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be bringing Varlamov in for the second period. All right. So see you between the second and third. After 2 periods of play, the Panthers lead the Islanders 5-1. If there's any consolation, at least we tied that period 1-1. So little things, I guess. One thing I've always taken pride about the Islanders, especially with this team, especially the last 3 years. One thing about this team is no matter how bad it gets, they never quit. And It was a better period, but still way too many mistakes. And holy cow, man, I'm sorry, but I don't know how after review that you can come up with a major penalty for that. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it was a 2-minute penalty. I'll be downright honest with you. It's always baffled my mind, these guys that get injured because they won't take a freaking hit and they dive to get out of the way and then they injure themselves by doing it. I've seen it so many times. Mayfield only went straight at him. The knee never moved, never even budged an inch. And just because Barkov dove out of the way of getting hit to get his knee tangled up with Mayfield, that was absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible call. That one's not watching with Islander orange colored or rose colored glasses, whatever you want to call it. Even the guys on ESPN said, well, I guess 2-minute minor, maybe, but yeah, that was just horrible. Absolutely horrible. For me in this game, and I didn't really, I meant to speak about it and in the first intermission, and I didn't when I was talking about the fourth line and why they're having a bad game. And I said they were on the ice for 2 goals, and I think they were just on for a third goal. This is a type of game where you need them to do that synchronized hitting that they do. Martin hits, and then Cizikas goes and hits the guy, and then Clutterbuck comes and hits the guy, and then Martin's coming back and hitting the guy, and boom, boom, and the energy. And these guys just aren't doing that this year. They're not hitting, not hitting at least the way they used to. And for me, in my eyes, watching Casey Cizikas, this is the worst game I've ever seen him play as a New York Islander. I mean, he's just not in it. He has to be still sick. That's not the Casey Cizikas I know that's out in the ice there tonight. Yeah, he's having a horrible game, and I've been watching Lee, and he's still, yeah, he's just not up to par yet. So I guess I was right. Varley came in for the second period. Had a feeling he would. Still think he should have even had the goal that he let in. It's a good shot, I guess, and put it in the right spot, but it was also very savable as well. So just things aren't going right, like Aho's wraparound there. He could have gotten a goal there, but just we're not getting those little breaks, But one thing that, you look back on this and you're disappointed, and you just lost to Tampa, and it looks like we're going to lose to Florida here again tonight. And you get all disappointed about things and say, well, this is a nothing game. But the goal that we did score, Palmieri from Bellows and Dobson, to me was a huge goal. It was to me, it was more how Palmieri scored that goal. It was just all smarts on his part, and it was a beauty. It was an absolutely beauty, and it's his first goal of the year. And something like that, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Palmieri goes, yeah, man, I've got the groove. I know what I'm doing here. And he made it look easy. And that's unusual for a person who hasn't scored in 12 games to all of a sudden make in the 13th game a goal look easy, but he did. But that could be a huge goal for Kyle Palmieri to get him a little bit ignited. We need even the assists were good assists for us in this nothing game right now. Bellows grabbing a point, that's a good thing for his confidence. It helps him get going. Dobson grabbing a point, it's a good thing for his confidence. So all 3 players involved in this goal is big to get them hopefully going for our next game against the Flames coming up here. Penalty kill was good. Yeah. And other than that, I guess we tied the period. I have seen 4-goal comebacks in the third period before. I have. Ironically, I kind of hate these games when I have both my goaltenders playing against each other. So Sorokin versus Bobrovsky are my 2 goaltenders on my fantasy team. So I didn't even care when I didn't even care when Bobrovsky lost his shutout, even though that meant an extra points for me because I'm an Islander fan first. So Sorokin getting killed tonight's going to hurt me badly, but c'est la vie. It's only a game, right? I'm hoping that we finish strong in the third period. It'd be nice to win the period. I don't care if it's 1-0, 3-2, whatever, but it would be nice to win the period and get on that plane, boys, get home and get settled into home. The Islander fans going to bring you to life. And I'm starting to wonder if the fourth line can only feed off you guys. You're the ones that get them going. So even if they come close to the lane, just to check, go nuts. And then maybe it'll be contagious for them. But I'm really disappointed in the fourth line. They've played well this year, but they haven't been giving up goals, but they haven't been helping us either. So we need that line to help us out. They're a big part of our success. We've kept them around. We've rewarded them. They need to start doing their thing. Yes, it's only game 13 of the season, but you know what? It's getting important now for us, guys. So it's time to start crashing and banging and hitting some bodies. So from what I've seen in this game, to me, that's the most disappointing thing is our fourth line. And we need them to get going like the way they normally play. Anyway, I've got a third period to go watch, so I might as well get it over with. See you at the end of the game. The Islanders fall 6-1 to the Florida Panthers. And thank God this game is over. And thank God this road trip is over. It's time to go home. Wow. What a horrible game by a lot of players. But, how can it's hard to get down on them. Nobody except the players on the New York Islanders know what it's like to start season 13 games on the road. It's never been done before. So there's nothing to judge it off other teams doing this and how well they did compared to how well we did. I thought our schedule being so choppy, I thought maybe that would help us because we would get at least rest while we were on the road, but it ended up hurting us because we never really did get into a groove. We got a lot of things to straighten out when we get home. But I do believe they will get straightened out. There's some signs. It's just a horrible game. And I don't really know what to say about it. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. And so I guess I really can't talk about the lines. I'll just go through most of the players. And I'll even be honest with you. There's a lot of things that I haven't even checked yet. Like, the minuses and that, like Pellick was on the ice for a lot of goals against. Fourth line was on for a lot of goals against. There were some signs I was looking for in the third period. No quit. And at least for the first 15 minutes, I saw that in the Islanders. So, I'll give it up to them because let's be honest here. We all knew this game was over after the first period. So the game was basically decided in the first period. And the rest was all just window dressing. Didn't have Barkov while they were playing. So we looked a little better because he's not there and whatnot. So I guess I'll go through the players, but like I said, I really didn't look at the finer details tonight because it was just so disheartening watching goal after goal go in like that. And but yeah, let's see what we can do. I thought Barzal actually had a good game. Yeah, I thought the compliment of Palmieri and Barzal it was unlike unleashing it was like watching a wild stallion run free. And it's the first time I've ever seen him like that, where Parise was keeping up to him. And I really think if you give these things some time, they can work out. But Barry has a tendency of going back to what did work for a while there. And if I was going to talk about anybody, I'm going to talk about him in in terms of their old lines, because that's how I'll remember them all. But Anders Lee just had just a horrible game, horrible game. So many giveaways. He just doesn't look like Anders Lee out there on the ice right now. And I said last night that I was giving him some leeway by excusing the pun, and I still am. He's basically got a pass for me for the first 40 games of the year, which is unfortunate. But if he's going to be like that, then he can't be on the first line with Barzell. So you need to shake something up, and we need Bars is the man on this team, whether people like it or not, and want to talk about us as a team and that we're a 4-line unit and that. But Bars carries this team, and we need to start building around Bars. Let's get what's good for him. And instead of worrying about everybody else, all other players, this is a guy we should be concentrating on, because he's going to be the guy that provides offense for us. And I just really think we need to help Barzell out. And right now, Anders Lee's not helping him out, and it's not Anders' fault. I'm not getting down on Anders here, and don't think I am. But I'm also being a realist. I see what's going on out there, and he's not playing very well, and that happens. So Anders Lee had him and Casey Cizikas may have had the 2 worst games I've ever seen them play as Islanders. It was tough to watch, that's for sure. I guess I'll go with Paul Mary. I thought Paul Mary had a good game. He was feisty. He tried, he was given 100% effort. He hit a goal post, scored a goal. It was a beauty. And after hitting that goal post, by the way, that's the 7th game we've now hit at least 2 goal posts in. We've hit over. We've had some games with more than 2 goal posts, and we've had a lot of other games with just 1 goal post. So we really need some of these posts to start going our way, and we need to start getting some fluke goals like the other teams seem to be getting some good breaks against us. We need to start getting some good breaks against the other teams. We're not getting them right now. But overall, I thought Paul Mary had a really good game. So there were a few guys. It's hard to believe that actually had good games, and Parise was one of them for sure, and so was Paul Mary, and so was Barzell. So overall, I thought the first line, and I'll call them the first line for tonight, I thought they were pretty good, because I didn't see them getting hemmed in like the other games that I seen the first line getting hemmed in a lot tonight. It seemed like our first line was putting on the pressure when they were on the ice. So I liked what I seen there. It's going to be interesting too, once we start getting the last change again too. I don't think people realize what a big difference that can make in a hockey game. And it is huge. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the second line. Brock didn't have a good game. He was just one of many who just didn't have a good game. I'm just going to leave it at that. Beauvillier was trying at the start, but once again, didn't really have a very good game either. So that wasn't good. Wallstrom, he didn't have a very good game either. He made a lot of stupid little small mistakes, and easily clean upable ones. And I can see why a little bit of Barry's frustration there. So and they're easy to do. Like I'm thinking specifically of that one where he got hit from behind, where he was trying to get into the blue line and lost the puck at the blue line, where it was obvious he was getting cornered in. You can't go through them. Just dump it in the corner and go get them. And that's the small little plays that really tick Barry off. And they went down the other way, and they hemmed us in after that giveaway at the blue line. So Barry sees all those things, where us average fans, a lot of times we miss a lot of little stuff, and we just see that beautiful wrist shot goal, and we, give him more ice and whatnot. But I can see where Barry's coming from for sure on that one. Okay. So am I still working on the third line here? I guess I am. Pajot, another unspectacular game. I'll just Another unspectacular game by him. We need to start getting some stuff from him, and I'm still wondering if the off-season surgeries are affecting him, and that's very possible. It could be just that simple right now. Bellows didn't play as good as he did last night, but was giving effort. It was nice to see him giving effort. It was good to see him get an assist, get rewarded for it a little bit for the effort that he's put in. But he was better last night than he was tonight, so that means he didn't have a good game, because we know how he can play. He can play like he did last night, and he didn't tonight. So that's where we are with Mr. Bellows. Who did we have on that third line tonight? I don't. It's so hard to remember because the lines were all over the place all night long. Uh, I'm missing somebody, but that's okay. And the fourth line, I'm just 100% disappointed. And I did like what Matt did at the end of the game with Gudis there. A guy is a total chicken shit. And I do believe I can lip read a little bit. And that's exactly what Matt called him, a chicken shit. And he is a chicken shit, because he laughed at Paul Mary, because he basically had his way with Paul Mary, who's much smaller than Gudis, thinking he's so, oh, I'm so tough. Look at me. Like this. And then all of a sudden somebody bigger than you comes challenging you, and you quiver like a little chicken shit. And nothing bothered me more than hockey players like that. And I would go after players like that all the time. And I wouldn't give them the chance not to fight me. If you don't want to fight me, that's fine, because I'll just keep throwing my fists in your face until you're black and blue. And yeah, that's what Matt should have done there. I would have just started swinging. I don't care. It's call me old school or whatever, but I like Matt doing that, but his game, not good enough. Clutterbuck's game, not good enough. And like I said, I think Casey's worst game as an Islander. These guys need to start hitting with authority, and start giving this team some energy. That is their job, and they are not doing it. And now they're getting scored against. And that combination right there just doesn't work. Doesn't work for us at all. Defenseman Pelech was on the ice for a lot of goals tonight, but man, it doesn't matter. Even in a bad game for Adam, there's still some things that he does out there that just, you can't help but smile. There was one time it was like he was stick handling out of a phone booth there, and it was so calm and cool, and just got it out. So there's so many things that even in a bad game that Adam does well. And you can't expect a player to have a great game every game. So I'm giving Adam a little bit of a pass for tonight as well. Mayfield, well, we can't really judge him. I think he totally got screwed there, because I don't think that was a major penalty, let alone a minor. Or I don't think it was a minor penalty, to be honest with you. I feel bad for Barkov, because I like Barkov and he's a good player, but yeah, so can't really judge Scott on tonight. I guess he was there for the first little bit when all the goals were getting scored, and he was on the ice for him. So can't be a good game for him either. I did find out through the game that Pulock was lower body injury, so that made me feel a little better. I didn't think Aho, well, he was on the ice for some goals, and he probably could have played defensively, but he looked a little more confident than he did last night out there. I thought he played better than last night, but I'm still unsure about his how he's playing on the defensive side of the puck. I thought Chara had a good game. No major gas, and I really noticed a huge difference in his breakout passes. He's really hitting the target now. He just looks more comfortable as an Islander in the last 3 games. So it's nice to see him coming around, because we need him. Dobson was ho-hum. There was times when I seen he was trying to do some things that you could see Barry was pushing him to do, and he was trying, but he didn't quite come through with it. Did pick up an assist tonight. That's good for the confidence level on him. And Andy Green was basically Andy Green, but like I said, I could have been. It came so fast and furious there. I could have missed a lot of the little details who was missing on this goal, because I was just thinking about one goal, and then they would score another, and it was just like, so even my analysis in this game could be way off, other than saying that we played a horrible game. And I'm not as upset about it because I think that, the impact of this 13 games on the road is bigger than even we think. I believe anyway. So I think we'll start to see things straighten out a little bit once we get home here. I do want to say something about the broadcasts this year. What's going on? And I started noticing it a little bit last year. These televised games that are out of sync with the announcer. Like, I'm hearing the post clank before the guy's even taken the shot. And tonight I saw something absolutely completely different. I watched. This is just an example. It happened way more than once in this game where Brock, I saw him cross the center line at this camera angle, and he shot it into the end. And you could see the puck going down in the end, and it switched camera angles, and you could see Brock again shooting it down the end. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on here with the broadcast? They're so out of sync. And this kept happening a couple times. Every time they switch camera angles, it would hop ahead a second faster, and you would miss some of the play. And then other times it would go backwards, and you would see the play twice from two different angles. I've never seen that before, but the announcing with hitting the posts is happening a lot this year on a lot of different people's telecasts. And I'm just wondering why this is going on. Because it sucks, because the guy hit the post before he even takes a shot. So you don't even have the wonderment of knowing, oh, is this going to go in? It's not going in. You heard the ping. So yeah, that's pretty frustrating to just thought I'd get that off my chest. Like, get your crap together there, TV people. Like, let's get in sync here. I don't know if they're doing like delays or what it is, but it completely sucks. Anyway, the Islanders looked horrendous. I think I'm going to use this 3-day break to recharge myself and just take a reset, that this is going to be a new beginning now that we're going to be heading into Belmont, and try to write these 2 games off. So 5-6-1, or what were 5-6-2. It's only a point below 500. So, and like AJ said at the end of the broadcast tonight, we had the same road record in our first 13 games last year, and we had a pretty good season. So we just need to go 21-4 at home like we did last year. So if we can do that, we'll be okay. Anyway, I really don't want to talk about this one much anymore. It's very disappointing. Both games were very disappointing. I was expecting so much more of the Islanders on these last few games. I thought they might empty the tank, but like I said, none of us can judge them, because the only people that have ever went through a 13-game road trip in the NHL are the team that we were watching tonight. So only they can tell us. So we'll see. I love the heart out of Palmieri tonight. I thought that was awesome. Not a lot to be happy about. None of our goaltenders played good either. So yeah, so there was that. So anyway, that's all I have for tonight. 6-1 loss to the Florida Panthers. We look terrible. We got to stop hitting goalposts all the time. That would be a nice start. And we got to start converting on the chances and the opportunities that we do get that we're not converting on right now. So anyway, that's all I have for you tonight. You guys take care and peace out.